praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rachakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and the sincere shalom to the Hakim that's out there pushing the sincerity and the truth and the sound doctrine. It's gonna be a really quick video. I'm kind of going into, I was looking into this a little bit yesterday, and I was kind of debating on whether I wanted to do a video on it or not. But this that account in the Bible, as you can see here, when Aaron threw the staff down or the rod down, and it became a serpent. That account is you can look at that as a faith booster, man. The Lord is not mocked. You know what I'm saying? Or the Lord is the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, Yahawah is the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings. He's a demon-like power, the most feared power. The most feared power for a terrible power. So on and so on. You know those sayings, right? Well, this account here is a really good example of that, right? When Aaron threw the rod down, and it became a serpent. Now I'm going to go into it a little bit, because this is like Yahweh mocking the Egyptians, right? Mocking Pharaoh and the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? That was mockery towards them. Now I got 3 scriptures that I'm going to go into. All right. Now this obviously going to have to be the first one. Like I said, I'm going to go into it a little more. All right, because it wasn't exactly a serpent like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into it. Exodus chapter 7, verse 8. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, shew a miracle for you, right? Then shalt thou say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. All right. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Okay. Again, I'm going to go into that serpent, right? Because it's not actually talking about a snake serpent. Okay. It's a serpent somewhat, but it's not exactly the snake serpent that that you see. You know what I'm saying? Like the actual slithering snake. It's not exactly that, right? Because why? Um, verse 11. It says, then Pharaoh also called the wise men and sorcerers, now the magicians of Egypt. They also did in like manner with their enchantments, right? So it says, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents, but Aaron's rod swallowed their rods up, right? So you're looking at this like this slithery snake. They all, what I'm saying, this snake swallowed up other snakes, right? And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to go into it a little bit. It says, and it hardened Pharaoh's heart that he hearkened not unto them as the Lord has said, right? So this is a very good, it was mockery. Now, what did the Egyptians worship? Okay, at this, especially at that time, what did the Egyptians worship? Now we're gonna go into serpent here. We're gonna look at this definition of a serpent. Okay, you see here it says tannin or tanin. Okay, a dragon, serpent, sea monster, dragon or dinosaur, sea or river monster, serpent, venomous snake. Okay, so to show you that this is not actually talking about the that slithery snake thing, what I'm saying, like the average snake. We're going to go into Exodus 4. Okay, this is the book of Exodus chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, and Moses answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, the Lord have not appeared unto thee. And the Lord said unto him, what is in thine hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moses fled from before it. Okay, so now this serpent and I'll get ready to say Revelation. This serpent in Exodus 4 is not talking about the same serpent in Exodus 7. Okay, we're going to prove that real quick. This is why it's good to you see here that even the names is Nahas or Nahwas or Nahwash. Okay, serpent, snake. Okay, now this is actually talking about a snake. Okay, it says serpent, snake. Now the other one said, what did the other one say? In Exodus 7, because this goes back to what these Egyptians worshipped, and that's why I said this was mockery, right? This is mockery towards the Egyptians, okay? And this applies to today, okay? You got all these different nations worshiping the eagle, but yet they fight each other. What's up with that, man? Okay, dragon, serpent, sea monster, dragon, or dinosaur, right? Because they're all reptilians. They're all still considered serpents. But what was this specifically talking about? This was specifically talking about a crocodile, because the Egyptians worshiped crocodiles at that time, man. Right? So this is this serpent here. It became a crocodile, and this crocodile has swallowed up all the other serpents. Right? You can say they you know what I'm saying, they probably let's see here, right? And they all became serpents, right? So you could say they were probably smaller crocodiles or other crocodiles. I don't know, but you see this definition here, right? So you can look at it as you can say they all turned into crocodiles. But why did Aaron's, if they all turned into crocodiles, why did Aaron's rod swallow up all the other rods, right? Because you're talking about the almighty power. And this also shows one other thing. The Lord is in control of this stuff. So the Lord told Moses to cast his rod down, and it turned to a snake. Aaron did it, and the Lord had it turn to a damn crocodile. You know what I'm saying? That's all the power of the Lord, man. Showing what the Lord is in control of everything. Depending on the situation, depending on how he wants it, that's how it's going to be. Because mind you, in Exodus 4, nobody else was around. It was just Moses, right? It was Moses, and it just turned to a snake. He did it. He specifically told him to do it in front of the Pharaoh because they worship the crocodile, man, right? So he specifically told him to do, and this also proves one other thing too. I can't remember the god that they worship. I really can't remember, right? In fact, I'm gonna look it up real quick. All right, so this is the Egyptian crocodile god that it's the god of the Nile or something like, or that's another saying of it, right? So the god of the Nile, Subek or Sobek, okay? At least that's how it looks like it's pronounced, okay? Sobek. So this also proves one other thing, that the Lord is the one that gave power to these other gods, right? They would kill the crocodile. They would kill those crocodiles and embalm them and set them up and worship them, man. Right? So that's what so it was Sobek that they worship. So the Lord specifically had it so where Aaron threw it down in front of Pharaoh, since that was the god that they worship, right? That same animal that they worship turned against them, man, and ate up all the other crocodiles. Because that was the power of the Lord, man. When you on the right hand side, that's symbolic to so many things, man. That's symbolic to so many damn things, man. Right? Now we're gonna further prove this point, right? It's actually talking about a crocodile. Like I said, it really ain't that much to go into. It's still a damn serpent. You know what I'm saying? It's still a reptile, but it's kind of good to know because this is mockery, and it also gives us another example that These gods that everybody worshiping today, man, that's from Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, man. They not good. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is the one that made them gods, man. And the Lord is the one that's taking them away. Because why ain't nobody worshiping Subek now? Yeah, may be a few. But right around, I think about it right around the time when the Romans came around, it's when that worship stopped. Why is that? But the Lord remains forever. That's another point, That's another great point on that, right? So we're going to further prove this in the book of way later in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 29, all right, verse 1. Okay. It says, in the 10th year and in the 10th month, right, in the 12th day of the month, right, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, right? So again, the Pharaoh worshiped what? The crocodile. It says, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt, right? Speak and say, Thus saith the Lord, Yahawah, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers. Again, that proves to you what? That's talk, because you look at a crocodile, it reminds you of a dragon, all right? You look at an alligator or a crocodile, it reminds you of a dragon, even a snake, because they're all reptiles. A dragon is a reptile, right? I'm talking about the big winged dragons, you know what I mean? But they remind you of reptiles, right? The hydras and stuff like that. Where do you think they get that from, man? Right? Hydras, the 8-headed snakes or whatever. I don't know if they always have to have 8 heads, right? But that's I usually see it, right? But they're reptiles. They usually have those Komodo dragons, right? They're reptiles. But this also is just further proving that this is talking about a crocodile. This is what they worship, and that's why I'm bringing this out again. Because this ain't really a deep lesson. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a deep lesson. It's just going into it a little more to show that this was mockery towards the Egyptians, right? So it says the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers, which have said, My river is mine own, and I have said, and I have made it for myself. Right. Again, the God of the Nile. All right. But I will put hooks. Watch this. It says, but I will put hooks in thy jaws, right? And I will cause the fish of thy rivers to stick unto thy scales, and I will bring thee up out of the midst of thy rivers, and all the fish of thy rivers shall stick unto thy scales. I will leave thee thrown into the wilderness, thee and all the fish of thy rivers, which you could say the fish of the rivers. You could say that pretty. You could, if you want, you could say that's pretty much representing the people too, right? Because it said you, since you the ruler of it all, and the fish that's he's gonna cause it all to stick to your scales, meaning y'all all gonna be cast out, man. Every last one of y'all gonna be cast out. This also proves one other thing, man, that the Lord was never dealing with other nations. He never dealt with other. In fact, he always judged other nations. Why is he judging Egypt like that, man? Right? He never dealt with other nations, right? Why didn't he cast down Egypt, right? And then bring them back up because they worship the Lord. You want to know why? Because they know they can't worship the Lord. They can reference him, right? But they know they can't worship the Lord. That's why the Lord never dealt with that, man. But every time the Lord cast down Israel, what did we do? We bowed ourselves down, we worshiped the Lord, and the Lord heard our prayers. When has that ever happened with any other nation? I'm waiting to see that. When has that ever happened with any other nation in the Bible? When has that happened today, man? It don't make no sense. What about Hebrews 8? What about Hebrews 8? Right? Jeremiah, everybody keeps talking about, now that God, we kept going off against God. Now he's giving us, now he's giving everybody the opportunity. It's like, man, don't you know the Lord made us go off? The Lord made us go off, man. It's going to the Lord. So that don't make no sense. And what happened with Jeremiah, man? Jeremiah, the Lord gave Jeremiah that prophecy of Hebrews 8, because we read Jeremiah 31 to 31. That was that was that's still actually talk about Hebrews 8, because that's a prophecy. That's still talk about Hebrews 8 and 8, right? Anyway, it says, and I will leave thee, so like, and I will leave thee thrown into the wilderness, thee and all the fish of thy rivers. Thou shalt fall upon the open fields. Thou shalt not be brought together nor gathered. Right? You know this. This also kills y'all. You demonic ass Egyptologists, man. Right? The Lord has never spoke good about Egypt, man. What's up with this, man? Egyptology. Y'all always like coming up to with this Egyptology, man. What happened what happened to Egypt, man? What happened to Egypt? What, you know what I'm saying? What happened? And the elder be asking y'all that all the time, man. And y'all can never give a validated answer, man. Right? It says thou shalt not be brought together nor gathered. I have given thee for meat to the beasts of the field and to the fowls of heaven, and all the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am the Lord, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel. There you go. There you go. When they took hold of thee by thy hand, thou didst break and rend all their shoulder. And when they leaned upon thee, thou breakest and madest all their loins to be at stand. There you have it, man. Not hard to see that the Lord has never dealt with these other nations. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Lowell willing, this lesson was edifying. Like I said, I just want to go into a little bit, because that's just Exodus 7 is a straight mock. That account is a straight mockery to the heathen, man. Even to that still holds to today, man. All right. So anyway, giving all praise, honor, glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, Shalom.